Hello everyone and welcome to another Baldur's Gate draft. After the rebalances, this is my third draft after the rebalance update, and well, rebalances or not, this is going to be the first pick. This is one of the best Bummerers in the format. The double strike 2/4/4/4 is really amazing. Specialized mana amount, the cost is only 1 mana. And then of course you get this, the kind of a once, the shield that works once when the opponent tries to remove it. Amazing, and of course all these backsides just make the creature even better. First of all, just becoming a 3/6 double strike is amazing, and then depending on the color of the backside, there's some very significant effect there too. So this is going to be the pick easily. There is a couple of these rebalanced cards still here. The Circle of the Land Druid now playable thanks to having 2 power. This thing got an additional point of toughness, so a lot of the blue cards are in fact better than they used to be. Alright, so now I picked a white card. There's a Category, which isn't the worst. I mean, well, of course it's not the worst. Well, why would it be? But I mean, it's a rare, but it's not like a bummer. Still, a 2-mana 2/2 first strike and reach is a very nice stat line. The equipment thing, not going to be that relevant. But you can also maybe give this thing counters some other way, so you can use the remove counters ability. But mostly it's going to be a 2-mana 2/2 first strike reach, which is great. I'm maybe taking that because as much as I like the Craving of Yinahu, I actually want to try something else. I have played a lot of these recorded drafts, especially with this card. It's an amazing card, and it could easily be the pick here. And the Muralist isn't bad either. But I'll take the rare here because it's fun to play with rares. Because I don't think I have even played with this card in this format yet, so let's try to make a green-white deck work here. Alright, so Steadfast Unicorn got a nerfed. It's not a 4-mana activation anymore, it's a 5-mana activation. Still playable, but definitely not as good as it used to be. Underseller Mechanic is one of the better commons in the set. But I'm not sure if a white-green deck, if that's... Well, I definitely want to be white thanks to the Lysel, although it is a splashable card as well. The front side is not a double caster. So, I don't know. I don't think the Mechanic is so good in a green-white deck, so maybe I should take something else, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be green-white. I could be green something else as well. The Unicorn could be easily the pick pre-nerf, but I'm not sure anymore. The Dust Guard is a decent 2-drop. Well, let's take the Mechanic anyway. I mean, if I'm gonna play green, I will have some expensive cards, for example, like the Dread Linnorm, and the mana adding ability works. I mean, is really needed in that case. Alright, so I'll take the Linnorm, because why would I take a Celestial Unicorn? Even though the green-white deck is kind of the life gain deck, there's not really that many ways to gain a life. So I don't put much value on the Celestial Unicorn. I'll take the Linnorm, which is a really decent green common. And here we have a Druid of the Emerald Grove, which is going to be the best option out of these green and white cards, and the non-green, non-white cards aren't really that amazing. So another card that gives me more mana, but I also already have this 7-drop, so I think it's totally fine, and I can play a green-white deck that is maybe a little bit, the mana curve is like a little bit heavier, or more top-heavy than usually. Alright, so here I think I don't need another card that generates me more mana, so Poison the Blade isn't as good as the Valiant Farewell, so it's gonna be between that and the Circle of the Moon Druid. I think I can get those Moon Druids later on. I'll take this trick, I quite like it. And okay, white isn't open. It's pretty obvious that I'm not getting past a lot of white, but thanks to the Lazel, I will at least splash this card. But I will have to keep in mind that I might be green with some other secondary color than white, and then splash the rare. But for now, am I supposed to take a Young Red Dragon, Fireball, Ether Cap for the sideboard? It's of course a best of 3 draft. The Basilisk, I'm not a fan of this card, especially in green-white, so I think I like the Ether Cap sideboard most. Okay, there's a Steadfast Paladin, that's a totally reasonable 2-drop, so I could be, just a regular green-white deck, and here I will... There's actually some nice red cards here still. I mean, not amazing, but nice. considering it's pick 9, but I take the Guardian Naga for sideboard, not gonna plan on main decking it. And why is the Craving of Inaho here? Haven't people watched my drafts? This just wins games. Alright, I'm taking it. Probably not enough to splash it, but hey, maybe if I get like a Dragon's Fire, which is totally splashable, I might splash, both Dragon's Fire and the Craving of Inaho, unless I have, just a very solid green-white deck that doesn't really need any splashing. Here I'll take the green card. Don't care about this. Another Yumit in a tavern. I mean, I don't ever plan to play 2 of these, but I'm not gonna play the Dragonborn either, so why not? Let's take the uncommon. Alright, another Druid of the Emerald Grove. There's also Thyan Evoker, a very good blue rare, but I think I try to stick to green-white as much as I can. I'd rather not splash anything, unless it's something like incredibly good. This is good, but maybe not like incredibly good if you are splashing it. This is much better when you actually can guarantee playing this on turn 3. Those games when you have actually drawn this early. So here I could take one of the white 2-drops. I'm not even sure if I value the Steadfast Paladin more than the Soldiers of the Watch. I don't like the 1 toughness really much, and the lifelink can be quite nice against, in any kind of a race situation, for instance. I like the Mick on it, but I have a bunch of... I'd rather take that 2-drop here. It's totally, a reasonable pick there. Okay, there's a Babalu Saga, which is also splashable, but am I gonna have... I mean, you're always going to have a creature and a land to sacrifice, but the question is, are you gonna have like an enchantment or a artifact to sacrifice as well? Or, well, I suppose a Planeswalker, but if I'm having a Planeswalker, I don't really plan to sacrifice it. So it's not necessarily that good. The pack is fairly weak for me. I mean, there's a Grim Bounty, which is really decent, but I could just take the Bronze Walrus. I'm not sure if I need it that much, but if I get some of the 6-drops, maybe even some, I would play something like a Ranger Squadron if I have some mana accelerating in the deck. So the Shepherd is like the life gain energy deck pick, but I don't have that any payoffs for life gain, so I'll take the Walrus. I've grown to quite like it, mostly because the Scry 2 is actually nice and a relevant effect in all stages of the game. Alright, so Pegasus Guardian, not the best, not the worst. It is a 6-mana 3/3 flyer, but you can generate some additional tokens there. There's a Myconid again. I have passed... I mean, am I gonna pass my second Myconid here? I just don't necessarily need all these Myconids. I have a Myconid and the Walrus and a Druid here to get more mana, so I think I should take some expensive cards. And there's a Viconia, which is, actually a splashable card. It's so good. But I'm gonna take the Pegasus Guardian, mostly because I don't remember actually playing this card, so I want to test it. Alright, so stick together. Do I have party creature types in here? I have 1 warrior. There's no rogue, no wizard, no what's the final one? Cleric? No. Alright, I don't just care about this because there's an actual chance that the opponent has at least 1 party creature, and then it's really miserable if you can't guarantee them to lose their board. Split the Spoils got boosted. It's a 2-mana card instead of 3, but I think Band Together, I want to have some removal, and I'll take the Band Together here. Fraying Line is really never that good. I like the Arcane Archery much more than I like the Fraying Line. This is a really strong card, actually. And the Celestial Unicorn, Icewind Stalwart. Do I have any synergy for this? Not really, I don't think. I suppose this gives me another token. This gets me another Scry. This only gets the... this doesn't get to reset the protection part of the spell. This gets more lands. I don't think I'm gonna play the Stalwart, but it's still the pick I'm gonna more likely use than the Unicorn or the Shepherd. So let's take it now, but it's gonna be the first to cut, I think. I really don't like the Scouting Hawk. It's just... I mean, I guess the white was good enough in this set that they even nerfed a couple of white cards for limited at least. But I think this could have used some kind of a buff, because this is just miserable. At least like a additional point of... I guess I could even be a 2/1. Here I take the Circle of the Land Druid. Maybe don't need it too much, but I'll take it now. I don't care about the Maze of Disruption here. Alright, so Inspiring Bard, or you line up the Shot, which is a decent sideboard card. I have ways to deal with flyers and artifacts and enchantments though, and the Inspiring Bard is... I don't know. It's okay. I'll take it. I can also have some trick, combining the Inspiring Bard with the Pegasus Guardian. This is an instant speed effect. This adventure part, so I can, get some surprise +2/+2 with this combination. Alright, so here I can take the Soldiers of the Watch, which I think I will start to have now enough 2-drops by now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures. Okay, I guess I could use a couple of more. Here I know I'm not going to play the Dragonbone, so I'll just take an uncommon here. Vault maximizing. Do I want to play another Inspiring Bard? Well, I don't think I need 2 Ether Caps, so let's take one of these. Okay, Unicorn. Now that I have 2 Inspiring Bards, that's some life gain. I have a couple of life linkers. Well, I don't think I need a third one of those, so let's take 1 Unicorn now. And there's a Sylvan Shepherd, which I don't like too much. Okay, Blood Money. I have only 2 of those. If this pack has nothing good for me, I'm gonna pick it to, complete the set. But there is a Mephit's Enthusiasm, there's a Dragon's Fire, and I was saying that I earlier said that I could be splashing some good red card, and then I can play the Craving, splash also the Craving of Yinahu, because the Dragon's Fire is, while it's good, the Enthusiasm is even better. So do I need to splash anything? I'm at 19 cards, but there are some, cards I'm definitely willing to, cut from the main deck. I'm not caring about the green or white cards here too much. It's gonna be either the Enthusiasm or I just don't splash and then take the Mythic Rare. I think I'm gonna actually take the Mythic Rare. This deck seems like it's gonna have enough good green and white cards that I don't need to make my mana worse by making a splash. I'll take just the band together here. Meteor Golem, I think with the amount of mana ramp I have, I could play on Meteor Golem if it comes back. Grimbound, Null Hunter, Jade Orb of Dragonkind. Druidic Ritual got a very relevant pump because now you can return also 2 creatures or 2 lands if you care about those particular things. So this before the boost or buff, it was one creature and 1 land. Alright, so I think I still take the Null Hunter because I do want to have more 2-drops. And here, maybe a Ranger Squadron now. Yeah, I don't actually have a lot of high end here, so yep, let's take it. Another Linnorm, another Null Hunter. Interesting, I do like the Linnorm a lot, so I think I'm taking it. That's enough expensive cards now already. Alright, so Minimus Containment, which I really don't like, but Band Together is fine. I have 2 of them already though. This could be like a sideboard card against decks but you still give them a treasure which they can always sack for mana. It's really, I don't like this card at all. I'll just take a Band Together. I might not play 3 of them in the main deck, but I still pick that here, there. Alright, so here, yeah, the Inspiring Bards. I guess if I play the Unicorn, but it's only 1 Unicorn, I don't really want to play a lot of these just to make the Unicorn work. Yeah, I don't care about it. I'll just take the rare for set completion. And well, mostly for 20 gems because completing rares is a lot easier than mythic rares. Alright, so you line up the shot for the sideboard. I guess I don't really need these things in my deck, so let's take the sideboard card. And Devoted Paladin, yeah, this got nerfed pretty hard because it has only 1 power. I think it's still okay, but it's definitely not the best black common anymore. So Devoted Paladin, I think I can have a 1 5-drop in the deck. I have none currently. Also, something that works nicely with this adventure part, to rescue the foal. You can trigger this mid-combat, make opponent's life miserable. Do I want to play a Spiked Pea Trap for sideboard? Because I don't think the Follow the Tracks is ever gonna be played here, so I'll take this for the sideboard if I really need to deal 5 damage to something. Here, Poison the Blade versus Cloak of the Bat. I guess the Cloak is fine with these life linkers, and yeah, I like this more, but it's still a sideboard card. Okay, I got a Poison the Blade as well, so why not? Prism, and 1 more, and the draft is done. What's it gonna be? The last card? Nothing I can use. All right, so I'll just put the green and white here. I'm not going to splash now. Mm, Guardian Naga, I don't have two Linnorms. I have enough 7 mana cards now. Cut the lands for now. This is 26. I'm going to play, of course, 23 non-lands. So I'm cutting 3 cards. How many 2 mana creatures I have? Let's do it like this. That's 6 2 mana creatures. That is only 4 3 mana creatures, but they were also the creatures I was really, considering cutting. Maybe I want to keep the unicorns, but I will cut the shepherd, even though yes, it does, synergize with the one of unicorn. But I have only 1 life gain payoff, so there's no really reason to play these weak cards. And the 3 mana 2/3, even if it has vigilance, with such a weak ability, just gain maybe a little bit of life here and there is not definitely a good card. So I'm gonna cut the shepherd, but I will keep all these others. Ways to gain life here is actually I have the double steadfast paladin, I have the inspiring barge which can gain life. That's 4, and then I guess that's it. But it's, this can pick up a counter somewhere. And sometimes opponents sees I'm playing green-white, I play Celestial Unicorn. They don't know necessarily. I mean, why would they know how much life gain I have? So they might just want to use a removal on it ASAP. Circle of the Land Druid. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I have actually, these 7 drops here, which, I mean, of course, there's also the 4 mana adventure here, but at some point I want to be able to cast these, so I don't mind having a 2/1 that quite likely gets me a land when it dies, because of course you can mill 4 non-lands and then, or maybe opponent has like a Viconia and gets your lands away, but most of the time this will get you a land. A 2 mana 2/1 of course isn't such a good limited creature, but if you get a land when it dies, it's definitely, at least playable. Alright, so here, what are my cuts? The Stalwart, yeah, looking at these 4 drops, that is 5 of them. I will cut the Stalwart. It has like very minor amount of synergy, but not enough. Now this thing has the equipment synergy, and I have one of equipment in my sideboard. I mean, do I want to use it in the main deck just because I have these? When these attacks get a plus, okay, well, it is a strong ability to get, additional +1/+1 counters that, doesn't cost any mana. Only requirement is to have an equipment attached to it. But maybe I still keep the equipment, the one that gives flying and haste. I will only leave it on the sideboard and maybe sideboard it in against some decks. Alright, so that's one more cut. Arcane Archer, Poison the Blade. Do I care about the Poison the Blade? And one thing it is good with is, of course, the Soldiers of the Watch. So I can just attack into anything that doesn't have like double or first strike. And then I can, guarantee a trade while getting the other 2/1. So it's okay. I also have 18 creatures, so I kind of don't want to necessarily cut a non-creature here. But what's the worst creature here then to cut? This has a 2 mana adventure, these are 4 mana adventures. Yeah, I don't think I want to cut any of the top end here. I guess the Poison the Blade is the worst card here still. I'd rather have the band together, so let's do it like this. And add the lands, which are gonna be, I don't have any gates here, it's gonna be 9/8, and I have more green cards. Not really double casters other than the 6 drop and a green card. Well, actually 2 green cards that can fix me. Oh yeah, it's gonna be easily gonna be a 9/8 for, 9/8 so that 9 of them are forests. And then the rest are plains. And that is the main deck. Okay, so if I mill a land, I can get a land with this thing. I have a Druid of the Emerald Grove, so if I get the 4th land at some point, I'll have all the lands I need, so I'm gonna keep it. I'm on the draw, have 2 2 drops. So it's not. It is you know, a little bit risky hand, but not really that bad. Okay, there is even the planes there. So let's play this first. Mill some. I don't have any other graveyard energies. I don't have to mill. Well, I still will because yep, there's a land. Actually, I wanted to mill these 3 lands, because this was gonna get me lands anyway. So yep, that was a great, great milling. I didn't want to sort of get flooded out there. All right, so I'll just attack. I have the first striker in here, so they shouldn't be able to attack into this unless they have a trick. I'm not too concerned about them gaining life. I have the band together, which I can use to get rid of that thing. Another green-white. I do hope to, you know, draw the 4th land because yeah, I kind of want to get this active so I can start playing all the cards in my hand. But I can play the Null Hunter or the band together on the next turn. Don't bring it. Okay, they're gonna gain life, and this becomes a 4/3, and they can attack for 4. All right, so okay, they have 2 mana up there. How do I do this? So this returns a land to my hand. They didn't attack, by the way. Why? The heck is that? I'm gonna attack for 2. Because I want them to block with the cleric. I want to have the land. So I can continue with my curving out here. Do I have a decent roll? I need at least 10 to get the accelerating out. I was able to do that. So I have 6 mana on the next turn. So I can double spell Null Hunter and Inspiring Bard or this Adventure. Yep. I don't know why they didn't attack with the 4/3. I didn't exactly have good attacks myself with the 2/2 and the 2/1 against the 1/3. But I'm happy I'm now at 20 instead of 16. And I want them to tap out. Once they tap out, then I can use the band together. As long as they don't tap out, I don't want to use this thing here. Okay, I'm not blocking that. Okay. So, how can they punish me? I can play the Inspiring Body here. Then attack for a bit of damage here. Then the Null Hunter. I like that. So if they want to attack with the Shepherd, they have to attack a 2/3 into a 3/3. Well, they will get another counter on this thing, but this would die. So I'm not too concerned. And I still, you know, can just kill this with the band together. I mean, if I get them to actually tap out. It did seem like they didn't have any pause for priority in there when I did attacks. It seems like they didn't have a trick. There's a containment, sure. So now I will lose my Null Hunter here. I will double block. If they have a trick there, I mean, then they have a trick. This thing, oh yeah, I can remove all the +1/+1 counters from it. So it actually works with the Linnorm. I can add, so this is dealing damage to attacking or blocking creature. So I could deal, it's not relevant right now, but it's something I could use with the Linnorm here. Alright, so I'm going to trade the Null Hunter on the Shepherd or make them use a trick. Even if I lose both of these creatures for one of their cards, I'm actually fine with that. The Druid of the Emerald Grove also already did some good stuff for me, giving me those 2 lands, which I really did really need there. Okay, Circle of the Moon Druid, sure. And now I have 8 mana at my disposal. They are tapped out, so I'm just gonna kill the Unicorn now. So that leaves me with 5. That means I can Devoted Paladin, band together, sacrifice this. Maybe I'll attack with both and use the Linnorm and then they band together. I want to use one of these Linnorms actually, so let's do it like that. That's fine. And then I still have the other Linnorm, and of course I also have 7 lands with this 7/6, which is very hard to block. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or less, and 3 is a lot. I mean, that means they have to have at least a 4 power creature to block this thing, and that's not really a common thing in Limited. Alright, so Valiant Farewell. This thing has reach, by the way. I'm just gonna attack into that board, of course, with another Linnorm available, so let's do that. Now, they will get their other Ranger Squadron, but they actually have to, tap out for it, and this Linnorm will deal 7. If they play a 3/4 flyer, they can't block this, so basically they are at 4 already, and they need to block this, but they can jump it. I can use a combination of Valiant Farewell and the Dread Linnorm to make this deal 11 though, so assuming they tap out for the 3/4, they will have 1 mana up with 1 card in their hand, if that's what they decide to do. So the 1 mana trick isn't, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a victory anyway. So how about if I use the Devoted Paladin? Does it make anything? No, I just need to make this deal 11. I have 9 mana here available, so I need 6 of that. They can block with that thing, they can, it should really be easy now, shouldn't it? 1 white mana shouldn't do anything to what I'm doing here. They shouldn't be able to gain any life with 1 white mana either, so let's just win here. Even got the Arcane Archer, which I could have cast because of the Inspiring Bard here being a treasure. Alright, so green-white, some life gain, but I saw basically only 1 Celestial Unicorn, a couple of payoffs in Sylvan Shepherd, and then the one-shot Don't Bring a Cleric. Now this can also destroy enchantments, so do I have any main deck enchantments? I don't think I have. Actually, I see it here most easily. Artifact 1 and enchantments. Alright, so did I see anything I want to use for? There's the Guardian Nugget, and then there's the you line up the shot, and then there's the Ether Cap that are just kind of a specific answers to a specific kind of cards. I saw 1 Ranger Squadron. I don't think it's enough to put something like an Ether Cap, because I don't like the 5 mana 2/5 in this matchup. It doesn't seem it's gonna be able to do much. So there's my own Cloak of the Bat. Do I care about being able to fly? I might, but then again, is there some card that is not gonna be that good? I don't think the Circle of the Landroid is that great in this matchup. They have the 1/3 for 2. I'm gonna cut that, especially on the draw, because I have more chances to find my lands. And I will use the Cloak of the Bat, and I kind of secretly, well, not secretly now that I'm telling it, I hope to draw this with the Catibri, so I can actually use the Catibri's triggered ability. But that's fine, I don't need to do any other sideboarding, I don't think. Alright, I have a nice hand here with a 2-drop, and well, a 3 mana trick, but anyway, I got both colors, 3 lands. They have the nerfed Unicorn. The bigger thing with, of course, the increase from 4 to 5 mana activation is, relevant and, really a big nerf, but the very the bigger thing in there is that double activation costs now 10 mana, not 8. Double activations of this thing weren't really that, rare pre-nerf. Oh, they have this thing. That's a good one for them. They get to go 1-drop, 2-drop, and kill my if they have they can play another Soldier of the Watch there. If I don't draw a creature here, I'm gonna be in big trouble here. But yeah, it wasn't uncommon for the double activation to happen earlier. Oh jeez. They had they had at 3 mana a removal to my 2-drop, and they were able to play a 2 mana creature. And they are on the play. Yep. I need them to not have more interaction. Because of course I have the means to stabilize here. I gain some life. If they can use the unicorn though, and then in that case I'm not going to block the 3/2, so I'm going to block the 4/3 celestial unicorn. But I mean, if they really just have another way to push through without losing any of the creatures, that starts to be a bit tough. All right. So to conclude, what I was saying about the steadfast unicorn is that a double activation won't be that much of a threat now anymore, because it's gonna take a lot more time to get to 10 mana. It's still, I think, a card I would be playing in at least some white decks, but it's definitely not a high pick. Okay, so they decided, they didn't have the 5th land, so they didn't have even the option to use the unicorn here. Well, they can. Well, that's interesting. I don't think they have anything for 1 green, so they are just it's not so bad of an idea to throw away a creature to deal a bunch of damage. So I can kill the unicorn, which will actually be the the more difficult card to deal with than these 2 ones. So I take an extra damage here. Definitely I'm not trading here. So I'm gonna kill this because it will be a problem when they have the 5th land. So I'll take 7 going to 7, but I will gain more life here now. I could use the Linnorm, but I'm just gonna have the board presence instead. And if they now attack with the unicorns, I will just trade with them. Although maybe not, because I do want to have this option available. Maybe I will trade with 1 and take 3. I mean, assuming they just attack with the 2 unicorns. It will be different if they have a Priest of Ancient Lore to gain some life pre-combat. I'm not going to take 4 damage. Okay, they have an Inspiring Bard which they can use to make these guys bigger. It is interesting though if they attack with all, because that's something they could do. Wow, they have more life gain. That's the only reason they can do that kind of a play here. Can't cast this, it's 7 mana, so they didn't attack with these things. They didn't want me to. Yeah, so these are gonna be 5/4s now. That's the only explanation, right? Sadly, I can't double spell my tricks here. I can only play one of them. And if these are 5/4, I actually have to use the Arcane Archery to not lose my Inspiring Bard. Okay, well that's better. This keeps hexproof, so that's very nice. Now they don't have even a good attack. They can push damage through a lot, but I mean, I will be able to. Yeah, I think I would be. Well, anyway, now that I have this, I'm going to be in a much better shape. It is a matter of time when they get more of these, more life gain, I guess, and this will become bigger. But I can still trade with a unicorn, even if this gets 2 more counters. It's gonna be a 6/5. I can trade with the Inspiring Bard. Question is though, am I going to be able to attack? And if I'm going to attack with whom? Okay, so they have something which I'm of course. If I don't block enough, I will lose to any pump effect. So they might have a lethal anyway, because I have to take. Well, I guess they don't have lethal exactly, but they're gonna have some stuff. But I'm gonna make these blocks. Of course, there's not really much. This is the the optimal block if they don't have anything, and whatever they have, I can't really figure out every possible scenario depending on what cards they are having here. I'm taking 5 now, so hopefully I'm not dying. They would need 5 extra. Arcane Archery helps a little bit in there. Valiant Farewell. Alright, so I'm not exactly dead. They attack with everything, and I will take 2. Yep. Alright, so this will draw a card though. So what I could do is just draw a card right now, but yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I want to have a creature here if I just can. Nope. Because I don't need the +2/+0 on their turn. This will trade with the 3/3 anyway. Now all they need is another pump spell. They have a Lantern of Revealing, which, you know, in the long run will get them more gas. So I do need to find something. Maze of... Okay, so they have a lot of artifacts. I will probably sideboard in the Guardian Naga now. Yeah, I will definitely sideboard in a Guardian Naga because that's gonna be able to deal with some of that stuff. Don't have any of those. So it has protection from demons and devils, sure. Soldiers of the Watch can do that. And well, it's just I have one specialized card. Yeah, well, actually, that was a reason to not play the forest. I would want to have the option available to specialize it into, you know, either green or white. So I shouldn't have played the forest. That happens. They have now an empty hand. They have only drawn 5 lands, but sadly this thing can help them, you know, hit gas. Okay, another Dread Linnorm. This thing will untap things, so I don't have mana to both use and cast the creature, but I can still I do have the mana to use the Linnorm and the Arcane Archery. So I think I'm going to attack with the Soldiers of the Watch to get the other copy of it. Do I want to? This has Trample now. That's something that I need to keep in mind. So let's just do like this and see how they block. I really wanted to attack with the Dread Linnorm, but they're at 23. It's not just... They can just take the 7 and not Kera, and I don't want to maybe use the Dread Linnorm quite yet, just to, you know, untap this guy. Okay, they don't care about that. Yes, that will leave me with 7 mana, which means I can still use both of these cards without playing the planes, in case I, you know, draw my first pick in the entire draft. Okay, so here we go. Definitely gonna untap this. Don't want to, you know, take any damage through here, because I would just die because this gets the additional power now thanks to the equipment. And then I will pass the blockers, and I have to jump something, but I mean I get to eat their guys quite nicely here. So these will kill this thing, I guess. This has Trample, so that's gonna be killed, and then also Reach, and then I will trade with here, and I can save one of my guys. Doesn't really matter. I guess it's gonna be the Soldiers of the Watch because it's the biggest of the thing. And then this just jump blocks. And then this can trade with this, and then I will make the soldiers survive here. Oh, that's somehow what? Why did no, this way. This should be good now. Although, I guess I can also just, I mean, yeah, this is... So I can kill the Inspiring Bard, that's better, and this will still even survive. That's what I have to do, right? I'd rather have a 4/3 than a 2/1, but this is also a way to kill the Inspiring Bard. They have the Lantern activation up, that's the reason they have a priority. They might still be holding a land. I kind of hope they actually have a land in their hand, because they have not a lot of, you know, land draws in this game. They have a lot of gas. Okay, they got the land on the battlefield, and I will use the archery here to do this. And they have no board after this. I have still 2 creatures, and I can play another Linnorm. So they definitely are now under a clock. This will also get, you know, Trample, and oh, I can actually make this. I'd rather have a 7/6 with this, you know, evasive ability, and then this Celestial Unicorn can get extra buff there. So let's do that exactly. Now I do in fact have to play my land, but this board position is quite good. Now, I don't have any party creature type, so I just hope they don't have the party mass removal in their deck. Of course, I have a lethal attack here from these red Linnorms. Yep, they found their lands, but they have only one unknown card, which is another Maze of Disruption. That's not really such a... I mean, I could see playing one in a deck that has multiples or a lot of double team cards, but playing multiples is a little bit maybe reckless. Alright. Potentially turn 5 Ranger Squadron. Opponent did actually mulligan. They are... Okay, they kept 6. Any 2-drops maybe? Okay, they have a ramp. Ramp deck 2. Okay, 2 lands. So I suppose I won't have too much trouble casting the 7-drop. Well, they have a lot of ramp now. And thanks to the buff of this card, it's now the activation is only 1 mana, not 2 mana, so it's a 4 mana cultivate. Alright, I'm up against dragons here. Let's hope they don't have like the Mirum there. Alright, so actually these do combine well enough. I should draw maybe the lifelinker first, then I can attack into it on the following turn and get... Don't think I can attack with it that easily, but I can make... Alright, I'll still, get it first. There's also a chance I want to, play the 2-drop and then have 3 mana for the band together to deal. I can still deal, 4 damage to some target. But they have now... Okay, and they have a medium. Didn't I just say I hope they don't have it? So... I hope they don't have a dragon to cast, because they get another copy of it. Alright. So next turn, can I... No, I can't even. This has ward 2. It's going to be too expensive to deal with it. I have to take a risk. Well, I don't have to take a risk, but... I mean, I could attack for 4 here. I kind of want to do that. Because they might not block. I mean, yeah, I don't think they're gonna block. If they block, they are very... Did I play a land? Hey. Oh, I did play a land there. This was a mistake. Ah, yeah, because I wanted to cast this and the Steadfast Paladin. So next turn I will have a 4/4 and a 2/2, and then I can cast the band together, dealing 6 and paying for the ward, but I made a mistake. I didn't realize I already played the land there, so... Don't have mana to do that stuff. I don't have the mana to pay for the ward. Because this taps for mana, I could have tapped it for mana and then used the Linnorm and then tap it for mana again to play the Steadfast Paladin. Okay, that's rough. So my options are really a lot worse now. I can't use the band together on the next turn. I just don't know why did I do that. Well, I'm gonna do these now because I have to wait. I mean, I guess if they just have more dragons, I'm gonna lose to the Mirum. Well, that's something I can allow them to copy. That's not a big deal. But if there's something else that actually has power... Oh, draw 3 now. This is... Oh, this is also very sad because as you can see, if I didn't make a mistake on the previous turn, I would be able to kill this right now. Oh, that's rough. Well, I think... Don't need the band to get there right now. It has ward 2. I can have now 6 power of creatures. 2 creatures that combine to 6 power, but this has ward 2, which I can't cast now. So I'm gonna attack for all these and hope that they didn't draw a good dragon to copy here. They also will have mana, 9 mana at least. My attack with the Walrus, that was a mistake. Okay, that's Gonna give them a scry too if they have a dragon. Okay, that's a legendary creature, but this says it won't be a legendary. The copy won't be legendary. All right, all right. I'm in big trouble. Well, I have some sideboard, cards, 2 sideboard cards that can deal with this. Okay, now getting a Thrakus, which also being a legendary, but this not caring about it. Yeah, that's good enough. I think I would have been in big trouble even without my making a mistake. If they killed this, I mean, if I killed this on the previous turn, they would have still played the Thrakus there. But I would be at 16 now, so it would have been a lot easier. So how do I do this? I need to pay 5 mana to kill the Mirum. So I have only, 2 mana up after that, so I can't even use the band, anything else than the band together this turn cycle. So, and this will be 6 power tramplers at least. So let's just lose to turn 5 Mirum or what it was a turn 5, right? So it's totally acceptable to lose to that, but it's not acceptable to miscount your mana. I basically the mistake there was that I forgot I played already a land. I thought that when I attack with the Baldurs, I could untap with this adventure to deal 4 additional damage to them and then still be able to cast the 2-drop I had in my hand, and then on the next turn I would have the 6 power and 5 mana to use the band together, but that's that. Anyway, you line up the shot, thank you very much, and the Ether Cap, thank you very much. Those will be in this deck. Post board. Don't think there's any reason to. I mean, I have to cut 2 cards. One of them will be the Circle of the Land Druid, so it's not easy to sideboard that much additional cards, but because you have to cut a bunch of stuff there. So the second cut won't be that easy. Maybe it's just the Soldiers of the Watch. They have those 1/4s and stuff like that. Yeah, this is it. And let's hope they don't get an early Mirum. I do have a triple band together in the deck, and it's not that hard to get 6 power from 2 creatures, so I'm not too concerned. And now there is this 2 cards I haven't actually seen in the early games in the event, but it's not a great hand, but I have this amazing rare, so I'm going to have it here. Also, I have a bunch of band togethers. Let's see the second. I don't think I saw the green and white versions of the the specializations. So specializes, it seeks a non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less. Okay, and then there is when it specializes other creatures you control and creature cards in your hand perpetually gets a +1/+1. That's really good. Also, it was really good to draw them. Forester, so now I have both colors and the 4 lands to cast the thing there. Okay, slow start from me, but it's fine because I'm on the play here. They have a 2 power creature. I have 1 artifact in the deck. It's the thing that adds mana and scries for 2. So I hope I don't draw it until this thing has been either specialized or dealt with some other way. So both of those specializations are decent, but I think I now prefer the seeking a non-land card with mana value of 3 or less. I'm gonna do that. But the specialized cost being only 1 mana is such a huge thing. Now I have a 3/6 double striker, which I can make into a. I could kill them in 2 attacks. I mean, I'm assuming they don't jump block. Of course, they will be jump blocking then. But let's attack for Let's attack for 10, right? It still has the protection. So I mean, of course, it will lose the +1. I mean, if they use a card to deal with this, I can flicker it, but it doesn't have the counters anymore. Draconic Lore. Okay, well they need to jump block my things. This is lethal now, and Guess I'm gonna use the band together. If they had only 2 creatures, by the way, I would be winning here, but they have an additional one there. But I guess I'm just gonna kill the Thrakus and play the Steadfast Paladin. I could play the 6/6 here. I mean, it's not the worst idea. But this could get suddenly like a doubling is very dangerous. If they get like an additional power increase for this thing, it's safer to do it like this. I get a couple of life points there too. So now they are just forced to jump block this all the time. If I draw a land, I can play my 7/6. They gain life now, so no, they get the scry too. They could have gained 4 life from the green version, then they can take this once, but they prefer the scry, which is also understandable. And I have my 7/6 now. Conjurer blocks there, and then I play more threats in here. Well, they had the medium on turn 5 medium in game 1, so now I have my own bomb rare. I like the deck, by the way. This is a really good, cool dragon deck. They have a bunch of the good stuff in there. Okay, so now this can't be blocked. This has to be jump blocked. I could kill one of these now, but it doesn't really do anything. So maybe I'll just if I would use that now, I guess it's a card they could cast. I'm going to blink this thing, and that allows me to play the. I mean, I can still play the Guardian, and I get a 1/1 flyer as well, because a creature left my creature a permanent left by the battlefield this turn. Navigation up. All right, well, I don't think lands are gonna help them. So the Guardian is lethal. Linnorm is lethal. They have to jump block this. Yeah, I don't think they can. Yep. There's not much they can do there. So, did I learn anything else? Don't think I really did. They have the, yeah, I learned one thing. They have a Jaheira. And I have only one target for that, right? One artifact, no enchantment. So I could cut the walrus and have something else. Do I want to do that though? Walrus is good in this deck, but then again, I don't want to give them a free kill. And I can play something else instead. But what is it going to be? It could be Poison the Blade. It could be the Circle of the Land Druid, but now that I cut one of my ways to gain mana, that could be it. But I think I still like more. Is there a target? More targets for the Guardian Naga than the. No, there's only the Shade of Dragon card, which is pretty decent when you cast dragons off it. Soldiers of the Watch. No, I don't like it. I actually think I like the Poison the Blade most. So let's do that. Also with cantripping, helps me hit my land drops a little bit at least. I can even target an opposing creature. It's also good with first strike. So this is a very nice hand. They mulligan to 6. Oh, they went to 5. They do have 3 colors, of course. But yeah, being at 5 on the play against someone who kept a 6 is not, sorry, kept 7 is not great, and especially I have this nice start. I can play the Paladin into Unicorn, so assuming they can't profitably block this Paladin, I'm gonna start getting, you know, counters on this thing. I can also use the band together with the Paladin to get more life. Okay, that is something they wanted to happen, but that's also very slow compared to what I have here going on. So they can use 1 mana to, so if they use this thing, they have only 3 mana for this turn. My Unicorn will grow bigger here. Well, their mana is fixed now. Well, it's definitely fixed now. But I have a band together if they have a medium. And I will have the 5 mana to, you know, kill it and pay the ward. Right, so yeah, I'm gonna play the 4-drop now instead of the first striker. Can I get the ramp or not? I can't, but it's fine. I don't, but unless I draw something expensive, I don't need the ramp for anything. Yep, that's a medium, and then I will kill it with this exact. I do it pre-combat, so the Unicorn gets an additional counter. So it's ward 2, right? It is ward 2. So these two deal damage to this thing. I pay for the ward. Unicorn gets an additional counter, and then it will get another additional counter. And they are almost dead. They are at 2. Okay. Shouldn't be too hard to win from here. I even can refill with the Ranger Squadron if they have a, well, they have a fraying line. So let's read this carefully. When, okay, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may pay 2. If they do put a rope cover, they get to put a rope counter. Otherwise, so if I don't pay 2, my creatures will die. So I'm gonna pay 2. I feel I want to do that. And someone who's gonna survive when they, well, it's gonna be the 7/6, of course. Well, I mean, of course, they're gonna just lose now. But I could have misclicked and then lose my board here. I still was, you know, in a decent shape. I could play the Ranger Squadron, which is lethal. But why make a misclick when you can't just win right away? Okay, I get to be on the play, but with a risky hand, if I draw a land in 2 draw steps, I get to play the Bronze Boulders. Okay, I mean, I'll keep it, but I really need the land. I really like the fact that, I mean, if I do draw the land, I get to scry also too, so I get to, you know, a little bit have some you know, a way to also affect my further draws. But now it's a moment of truth. I didn't get it on the first draw. I guess I have some 2-drops that I could cast with this mana. So I have what, 15 lands and then a few 2-drops maybe as outs here. And that's all I needed here. So now if I want to have lands here, so but the band together is also fine. So let's do this. Next turn I can play a Devoted Paladin, assuming the Walrus survives here. Okay, they have black. Well, that means it might not survive. Scaled Natural. Okay, another one with some ramp elements in the deck. Okay, so let's just play the 5-drop. Hope they don't have the blue counter spell, because they do have a treasure, so they could have any colors. But they did not. So next turn, yeah, it was, I mean, I kept the band together because I kind of think it's gonna be good. I will miss a land drop and I can't. I guess I can still play the Steadfast Paladin and the band together because, of course, I have the 5th mana thanks to the Walrus. Yeah, I like it. I can't attack in that case though, so if that's what I choose to do. I'm not going to attack. I also want to have mana up for the Arcane Archery here. in case it's gonna be relevant. Okay, that's when they can play lands or cast permanent spells from the cards that from the graveyard that were put from their library. Yeah, well, I'm going to at least try to kill. They have two, no, they have three, not, sorry, they have 4 mana up, so band together is a little bit risky right now. But I do want to get rid of this thing. It would be a shame to not use the mana this turn cycle, so I just hope they don't have a removal here. If they have a pump spell to save the Kaka, that's fine. But if they have removal, that's got 2 for 1, and I don't want that to happen. Yeah. That was bad. Alright. So they're gonna have a death touch attacker, which value? I just have to kill it. That's so sad, but... Oh, and if I attack and they don't block... Well, I can still play Valiant Fireball and a band together, so let's see what they choose to do here. Don't think they cannot block. Why wouldn't they just take 2 here? So let's use this. Get my card here. So now it's all about top decking. Mechanic is a good card, but doesn't affect much to the. I mean, it does add to the board, but I'm not under any kind of a clock here. If I just draw my good expensive stuff for like that thing, that's really good. If they don't have a removal on that thing, I'm gonna have 2, 3, 4 flyers. Moment of truth. So they have already had a Grim Bounty and a band together. Hopefully they don't have more. Okay. They are thinking about something here. Okay, that should be a rather easy decision there, I think. So they got 2 more. Okay, and they did draw them. And it's even the good kind of removal, which both get rid of my thing and gets them a 3/3. And 3/3 not usually that big late in the game, but I don't actually have anything to. Oh, okay. So sure. They drew pretty good stuff from the Deadly Dispute. All right. Well, I mean, sometimes you get outdrawn. The Meteor Golem there adding 3 power to that board is also, I wasn't in back that big of. I mean, if they didn't have a specifically Meteor Golem as a removal there, I would have just taken 3 damage per turn. But now they also top decked an Hourglass Coven here, so I think it's I have nothing to deal with that stuff. So let's just go to the next game. So Hourglass Coven one, maybe the best rare in the set for limited. So anything I care about sideboarding wise? There's nothing that specifically deals with an Hourglass Coven, so maybe I need to be fast and play the Cloak of the Bat, and I again won't be playing the Circle of the Land Druid. It's the least impactful card in my deck, so I need to be able to win quickly. And that's why because once they draw the Hourglass Coven, it's gonna be very hard for me to try to beat that, so I'd rather have the equipment that allows me to at least maybe attack with creatures they can't block. Okay, let's see if Lysel can survive. They have enough removal to actually kill it. But at least they have to use 2 of those. I would also like to, have a 3-drop here, but apparently not possible. Or just a 2-drop is fine too. Something to cast on turn 3, but there wasn't exactly anything to cast. You can't cantrip off of this card by using your opponent's creatures because it says target creature you control. Alright. So they're gonna get some value out of that, but well, they get value once, then I kill it, and I have a Lessel here, which is really good. The green version doesn't do much now, by the way, because it gives my creatures I control and creature cards in my hand, they get perpetual pump, so and not really something that does much because I have only one inspiring board here. Okay, so they have a favorite enemy and Sarevok. They will cast the Sarevok there for sure. I'm not blocking it because it has death touch, so that would be really bad. This has spell or ability, so if they use the favorite enemy there, I can still save the Lazel from that. And they can cast only one of those. They can cast one thing from the graveyard using this ability. So if they choose to get rid of my, the shield here, they will not have the Sarevok up. But yeah, this did draw them a card. There's no denying that thing. Okay, they are figuring out what to do there. Am I supposed to post recording now? I mean, I think they just, well, I don't know what's in their hand, so it's hard for me to say. It seems like the Sarevok is more valuable than the favorite enemy that will get rid of this thing. This is a May ability, but of course, fighting a death toucher would be bad. Alright, so I guess it's time to kill the thing there, which means that I can still. Yep, I will get a card. So like this. Oh, by the way, I can't kill it. Why did I think I can kill it? Because it has double strike. It doesn't deal 4 damage. So I could have done a Valiant Farewell and then band together there. Whoops. Well, that happened. I'm gonna just do this then. Make them jump block with the Nurturer or take 10 damage. At this stage in the game, they might be interested in having the mana. So the jump block does hurt them, I would imagine. So they get another attack with this thing. Okay. At least they can't cast an Hourglass Coven right now because they lost their mana. So what are they milling now? A land and a Hill Giant Herdcatcher, which they can't cast either. So they get still a Swamp. So this has already drawn them 2 cards. It can be really nice when not dealt with. Well, I have a 3/6 double striker, which still has the shielding ability up, so they have to use 2 cards to deal with it. I mean, if they have just the removal spells. And my 2 band togethers are going to be, I will be able to get rid of their stuff. But let's see if they tap out for something. They are using time to make decisions, but which is, the clever way to do. I'm sure they have. I mean, because they can't cast the Herdcatcher, they should just play the Swamp. I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, they of course want to play the Swamp, unless they need like some other kind of land this turn. But why would they lose the Swamp? This is only playable on this turn. I mean, those cards here. I'm gonna pause the recording until they decide something. Okay, so they had an Owlbear. That's what they did there. Alright, so... I think it's rather easy to just attack with both thanks to my stuff here. So now, am I supposed to kill the Gaga now? I could play this now. It will actually be a 4-2 lifelinker, but I don't really want to give them additional. Yeah, I'm gonna do this now. I will take 7 damage, but I will have a 4 power lifelinker and a band together too, also, which works with lifelink. So I'm not too concerned. They might use this and they can get the black version that gives them more creatures in the graveyard. So they could attack what? They would attack for 7, 11. They could attack for 11 if they specialize this thing. And then the green version is trample. That gives trample to that targeted creature. Alright. Again, they have difficulties deciding what to do. Well, I guess they are gonna attack for 7. So I will be killing this thing. Hopefully they, well, maybe not, depends. Oh, their deck has some pretty darn good cards. Shadowheart, Sharon Cleric is really good. Oh man. I mean, I have a Lazel, but that's kind of the only thing I have going on. They have a lot more. Cloak of the Bat, though, that is interesting. That is interesting. They didn't specialize, they didn't... I mean, they have a thing there. I mean, that's probably going to be the untapping thing, isn't it? Then I could get them with the band together. It's really tempting to start attacking in the air with a Steadfast Paladin, but I need to keep up mana up for the band together, and playing and equipping this thing costs 4. Am I willing to take the trade with the Shadowheart? I think I am, because it's such a nice card. If it trades with the Paladin, I'm happy. Oh, but it doesn't have haste now. I was... okay, of course. I was already planning to, to have it hasty, but of course it's not. So if they now untap the Shadowwalk, which they might do, this also has Death Touch, by the way. So they can keep 2 counters on this thing as well. So anyway, whatever they're gonna target with their Linnorm, I'm gonna kill with band together. It's really telling what my hand has now that I played the Cloak of the Bat post combat here. But I can't play the band together into their Linnorm. That's just not gonna happen. I will also need the life from this thing, because I'm dying to their next attack. This is gonna be at least +4 +0. So well, I can't block with my lifelinker, neither of these things. They're gonna make it trample though, but then again, well, there's no point I'm doing anything right now, so let's just see what they do. They are definitely thinking about using I think a Dread Linnorm to give you some counters there, but can they afford? Yep. So these both, so it's targeting the Shadowheart. I get 4 life now, that's very nice there. And now I can fly with the... Sadly, this is not gonna be lethal in the air, it's only 6 in the air. But of course I will block the Sidewalk now if it attacks. If they make it into a Trampler, it will deal a decent amount of trample, but still the block means it's +4 life for me, so I'm not dying to that. Lysel is still, they can't kill it with 1 removal spell. It hasn't been But if they have a removal spell, they want to use it on the Steadfast Paladin. That said, if I draw any creature, I can make it hasty. So if they don't have any blockers, in that case, okay, well, there is the Alchemy Coven. Well, I mean, that the reason I sideboarded in the Cloak of the Bat is this particular card. So I can also have some pump effects. I have 2 Linnorms myself. I can just win on the next turn. The equipping only costs 2 and I have 5 mana. So if I have the correct top deck, I will win. And these things won't do anything unless it's their upkeep. So they get a skeleton creature token, and I have to lose 3 life or sack a non-land permanent or discard a card. Alright. So don't think they're attacking because I will just block the Sarewok. I will go to 17. Well, they still are. They don't want me to attack with the life lingering flyer, which is fine. I go to 70. It doesn't have trample now because they haven't specialized it into the green version, so this is totally fine. And nothing that helps me deal with this stuff. So basically I'm taking 9 on the next turn. I will discard this forest for this thing, and then I just hope that my, Lysel will be lethal, and also any creature that I will draw is going to give me, it's going to be a hasty flyer. So they need basically a flying blocker. That's what they need, or something with reach. That can kill the Cloak of the Bat. Wow. Well, now I'm losing because they have infinite sunblocks with the skeletons now. I guess I have a flying creature. Well, let's see what I draw. Devoted Paladin. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to, though, the Meteor Golem killing my equipment. I had the correct sideboard tech against the Alchemy Coven, which they drew, but sadly they had their answer. So I'm just dead, right? They attack with everything and I'm dead. Alright. Yep. Alchemy Coven winning games. The most annoying card in the format. But it's still fine. I won 2 matches, and then you can't always win all 3. But I did like the deck though, and I got even once to do the thing with the Celestial Unicorn and the Steadfast Paladin, although that was against an opponent who did mulligan to 5. But still, don't think there was much I could have done differently in the last match. And yep, did I get to do anything that is worth mentioning? I guess the Pegasus Guardian. Well, I think I cast it like once. I can't say anything about it. I'm kind of on the fence with this card. I'm not sure I like the fact that I definitely don't like the fact it costs 6 mana to get a 3/3 flyer. But you will get those 1/1 Pegasus tokens quite often, and then the adventure path is actually relevant. And depending on your deck, what kind of synergies you have, that will be range from decent removal counter into something good. Synergies, which I could do, for example, with these 2 cards. But yeah, that is it. Next draft will happen in a few days, and I will see you then. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.